Transformers, that tank is less than meets the eye. And the reason why is the entire vehicle was made out of plywood and particle board. If you look closely at it, you can kind of start to see it a little bit more clearly now. The reason why is twofold. Number one, tanks are very heavy. If you try to drive a tank through downtown Los Angeles, you are going to be repaving downtown Los Angeles. However, if you make the tank out of plywood, you grab a couple burly crew members, they pick the tank up and walk it wherever they need to go. And besides, it was a Michael Bay movie. There was about a 50-50 shot that tank was going to blow up. Now, folks, you might be wondering where we're headed next.
Blow up.
Check it out.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
No way.
That's right, everybody. Now, you probably know by this point that the Jurassic Park movies are pretty terrifying to watch, right?
Yeah.
Do you know they were pretty terrifying to film, too? See, the Tyrannosaurus in the movie was a 60-foot tall audio animatronic that constantly malfunctioned on set. In fact, one of the worst ones you saw on screen. You remember the part where the kids are alone in the Jeep and the T-Rex bends over, breaks the glass, and they're holding on for dear life? That was not supposed to happen. The T-Rex fell over and broke the glass accidentally. Nobody stopped acting because nobody yelled cut. So they placed that one on screen because the fear on the children's faces was 100% real. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Now, as we move on from, whoa! Folks, allow me to introduce Larry, Bo, and Curly, the three funniest Dilophosaurs here on the lot. Just a little warning, if you ever see them start fighting with each other, don't get in between them. They can last for hours. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Folks, on your left-hand side, that is what we call a 50% chance of dinosaur attacks.
I know.
Because it's just half a dinosaur. Stick with me, folks. My jokes don't get any better. Over here on your left-hand side, it's called a forest of faux flora. Real fancy way of saying a whole bunch of fake plants and trees. Do you know why those are so useful here in Hollywood? One reason. They can't die. Specifically means they can't change colors because they can't die, which means they don't ruin something called continuity. You ever watch a television show where something in the background keeps changing every time you see the scene? Like, for example, a red salt shaker that moves across the living room as the scene keeps changing. That's what we call a mistake of continuity. And the problem that we've realized is, if we make a mistake with continuity, you're going to be way more interested in a red salt shaker traveling across the background than you are about the conversation that the foreground characters are having. And guess what's way more important? The conversation. So, we're going to do a whole lot to make sure that that concept of continuity sticks with us. Over here on the left-hand side is one of those things. This is called a practical weather effect, or as I like to say, this is how we fake it because we can't make it. Now, if you were actually making a movie here, be aware of one thing. There would be no thunder right now because you'd be wearing a microphone like I am, you'd be talking, and this would just ruin everything. So we would add the thunder in later using sound editing because it's easier to add things in later than it is to take them away. Now, in just a moment, you're going to get to see the final part of the effect, and there it is. Notice what's kind of strange about the rainfall? Where do you see it? Where the sun is shining. Now, sunlight is not normally a feature you would expect to find during a rainstorm because, you know, clouds. However, this does illustrate a very interesting point. Rain requires light to show up on film. So the next time you watch a romantic comedy where the couple is standing in front of a parked car in a rainstorm and they're going to have their first kiss and headlights turn on and we all go, aww, it had nothing to do with romance and everything to do with finance. We paid for the rain and we want you to see it. The rest is all just kind of, oh, well, folks, that is exactly what happens when it rains here in Southern California. That is a very accurate effect. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. You could have gotten a little bit closer. It's really warm out here today. I don't know. But, folks, the cool thing about that is that water is literally going to get pumped all the way back up to the top of